Hi all, welcome to this channel. Here we discuss everything COVID-19 pandemic related. In this video, we'll continue our discussion on state-by-state trends in the United States of America. In the last video, we looked at 5 different states: California, New York, and Texas, as well as North Dakota and South Dakota. In this video, we'll look at the next 5 populous states. So as of today, November 23rd, 2020, globally there have been over 59 million confirmed cases, almost 1.4 million deaths globally. In the United States, there are now 12,411,000 confirmed cases and over 257,000 deaths. And per the Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center, the new cases as of November 23rd, 2020 are 142,732. In the last video, we looked at the 5 states of California, Texas, New York, and then we also looked at South Dakota and North Dakota. Today, we'll look at the next 5 largest states, starting with Florida, which is actually the 3rd largest state now as of the U.S. Census Bureau's projections from July 1st, 2019, at about 20 million people. Then we'll look at Pennsylvania, about 12.8 million people, Illinois at 12.7 million people, Ohio at 11.7 million people, and then Georgia at about 10.6 million people. With the exception of Florida, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, and Georgia all have roughly 10 to 13 million people per state. They are similar in total population, whereas Florida is roughly double that of Georgia. So something to keep in mind as we look at state-by-state trends. So here we are at the 91DIVOC visualization website. I'll put all links to the websites visited here below. So currently, today, November 23rd, Illinois is showing an average of 11.8 thousand new cases per day, the highest of the 5 we're looking at. Ohio and Florida are both around 7.6 thousand new cases per day. Pennsylvania is at 6.4 new cases a day. And Georgia, despite a recent spike, is now at 3.5 new cases a day, although they are also climbing. So let's take a look at how this has evolved over time. Starting in March and going into April, see all 5 states had some cases of coronavirus, with Illinois growing the quickest through May. Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Florida hit a bit of a peak in mid-April, then tended to plateau and came down a bit. Ohio as well. You see the bottom 4 states somewhat plateaued and came down. And into June, Illinois did see a large drop. But at this time, Florida started climbing in the mid-June timeframe quite quickly. And as the summer months roll into July, Florida starts to spike, Georgia continues to climb, and Ohio, Illinois, Pennsylvania increasing, although closer to the 1,000 new cases per day threshold. Now, by mid-July, Florida saw up to 12,000 new cases per day, and Georgia was closer to 3.5, little less than 4,000 new cases per day, staying there for a period of time. As we roll into August, Florida does come down quite a bit, although not all the way down, showing a bit of a dip down to around 6,000 and then down further to around 4,000 new cases per day. By early September, it seemed that most states have either plateaued or reached a bit of a trough or valley in their situation, and confidence was high. Now, as we move into the fall, all 5 states are roughly in the same area in terms of new cases per day. Remember, Florida has almost double the population of Georgia, so they are in similar situations for these 5 states. Now, unfortunately, as we roll into middle of October, this is where we start seeing cases grow again. At first a bit slowly, although Illinois by mid-October has reached 4,000 new cases per day. Florida has grown to about 4,000 new cases a day by the end of October. And you're seeing increases in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Georgia under the 3,000 new cases a day. Moving into November, Illinois continues to climb at a rapid rate. Georgia shoots up very quickly in the beginning of November for new cases. And Ohio, Pennsylvania, as well as Florida are all growing at somewhat of a rapid rate. Now, there is a blip in the data for Georgia. It's unclear as to the reason for that, but needless to say, the cases do continue to grow, whether they are, at the higher threshold or at the lower threshold. So that takes us to today, where Illinois has seen a spike and peaking at over 12,000 new cases per day, and most recently somewhat plateaued, and we hope that can come down. Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania seem to continue to be on a growth trajectory, as well as Georgia. So next we'll look at deaths in these 5 states. And you do see there was a spike initially in the May to June timeframe, especially in Pennsylvania and Illinois, at around 120 deaths per day in Illinois and up to 160 new deaths per day in Pennsylvania. Those numbers did come down as we roll into summer. However, Florida saw the highest number of deaths per day in that August timeframe at over 180 deaths per day. These have since come down um, through November. However, now Illinois seems to be back to even higher where they were in May at over 120 new deaths per day. Pennsylvania close to, it's like above 70 new deaths per day as of today. Florida also above 60 new deaths per day. Both Ohio and Georgia are closing in close to the 30 to 40 new deaths per day. So that gives a sense of the trends of the COVID-19 virus in the states we discussed today. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe, wash your hands, social distance, and wear a mask. We're all in this together.